My brother just stopped by with his new BX2380 and a whole pile of fluids. So we're going to go ahead and pull this loader off and get to swapping those out. This is one of those nice quick attach loaders. It's got a lever here that drops the stand down, and there's a latch on both sides. You flip those latches and kind of pick the loader up with itself using the hydraulics to lift it up. And it's just got one master lever here that unhooks all four lines. It's really slick getting it off of there. And I've already replaced the air filter, super straightforward. You just flip these two bales here and you know, swap it out, super easy. And then this actually has two fuel filters on it. There's one right here, and it's just your standard spring clamp on both sides. Loosen that bolt, slide it out. And there's one underneath, which I'll show you. So here's the one underneath the tractor. It's right on top of this skid plate in front of the transmission, right behind the fuel pump. So it's between the tank and the fuel pump, and when you remove this one, all the fuel is going to start running out of your tank until you get the new one on. So you got to do it kind of quick. And it's the exact same filter as is on the side of the motor, exact same removal process. Just close proximity here, close quarters, there's not a ton of room to move. While I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and change the filter on the transmission. See if I can't get the strap wrench up in there, which of course is going to be a pain in the butt because of the skid plate. Oh, come on, Kubota. Why can't you make this easy? You cannot use a standard strap wrench on this unless you've got one that's narrower than mine. You're going to need one of these pliers for oil filters. If you don't have them, they're really slick. There you go. You just squeeze and turn and go bite in and loosen it up. You don't have to go crazy tight with these, just hand tight. You never want to use a oil filter wrench to tighten up a new filter. So on the back of the tractor, you're going to find the drain plug for the transmission. It's located, well, you can see it dripping there. Right there is where it's located, that little drip there. Alright, let me see if I can get my hand in there and hold the camera. Right here. And it's really not that bad to get to. If you've got two drain pans, that'd be ideal because you're going to fill both of them. So one more thing you're going to want to do when you're back here, right here on the side of the transmission is a strainer. You're going to remove this bolt, which holds a little tab in place, and that is what actually holds the strainer in. Let me pull it out. There's the tab that holds the strainer. Then you're going to pull the strainer out. It's kind of like a pre-filter almost for your hydraulic system. Dang it, that thing is tight. Let me get something and pop it out of there. It has a nice little ridge all the way around it to just put something in like a screwdriver like this and just pull it out. There we go. The O-rings create quite a bit of stiction on it. And this thing is nasty. Gross. Look at all that gook on there. Looks like a bunch of RTV from when they put it together at the factory. All that stuff shouldn't be on there. We're gonna go clean this and I will show you what it should look like. So I've already got most of it knocked off. I just kind of took a rag and scrubbed it off. This stuff is pretty stout. I wouldn't be too worried about damaging it. Let me get all that crap off there. So once you feel like you've gotten all the junk out of it, go ahead and get it with some solvent or brake clean and just hose it out. There you go. It's nice and clean. So after you hose it off with your brake clean, just wait a minute for it to dry, or go ahead and wipe it off with a rag again. Either way, hit it with some compressed air, whatever you want. Just make sure it's dry before you put it back in. That stuff evaporates so fast it's not going to take very long. And then to change the fluid on the front axle, there is one drain plug located right here on both sides. You're going to remove each drain plug. I'm doing both at the same time just to save time. And after you pull them out, you're going to want to pull out the little filler cap here to break the vacuum seal and let it dump out faster. And this holds 5 quarts. 5 quarts of, what was it, 8090? Yep, 5 quarts of 8090. And then the rear end here holds 12 quarts of hydraulic fluid. And we've got the Kubota actual Kubota hydraulic fluid here, whatever they call for. And after you've got it fully drained, you're going to want to remove a bleeder cap on both sides here. And the guy at the dealership said, just fill it until it runs out of these things. Don't even worry about the dipstick, but I'm not quite so sure about that. Either way, it says it holds 5 quarts, and I've got 5 quarts, so we're going to fill it up until we're out of fluid and see where we go. But this one's currently running out, so I'm going to put this cap back in, but I might just leave this one in and leave the one out on the far side because the fill is right here. So we'll see what that does. And that's all there is to it. I'd pull the dipstick out and show you, but it currently says we're over full. I put 5 quarts in there, and I'm thinking it's going to take a little bit for it to actually run down all the way inside the axle here and fill those up. So I've let it sit for a while and go back and recheck that if you're doing this at home. But I'd say change the front axle. I showed you the fuel filters, then the transmission, your dipstick's back here. Actually, that's all of your hydraulic fluid. We're actually going to fire this up, go put it outside, let it warm up, and double check that. And today we're not doing the engine oil because it was just changed, and your filter is over on this side underneath the overflow bottle right here. So we're not doing that because we pulled the dipstick and it's nice and clean. So I honestly believe the previous owner did change that right before he sold it, like he said he did. So anyway, that's how you change the fluids and the filters. So if you guys want to see more of this video, please subscribe and stick around to see it put in action. Thanks.